That's a good start. Everyone, hi, how are you? I'm very happy to see you. And today the question is, what is the biggest insight from the iToday Summit 2020? And I'm so happy to see you. Welcome to Invincible Innovation Live. I'm Mazor, Kario, Innovation and Value Creation Expert, and I'll be your host. And I have with me today a very special episode, and I have Steph with me.
Hey
And
everyone.
he's everyone, and you'll tell because it's like French and I don't know how to pronounce it.
Steph Cruchon. Yeah,
Oh, very
that's
good.
the way. That's the
Very
way.
good. So I'm so happy to have you here with me.
Likewise.
And just a month ago, even less than a month ago, you had a very interesting and important summit for innovation. And we're here today in a special episode to have some secrets and insights of what you had there. It's
Yeah.
very exciting. And I know, Steph, we met in Google in San Francisco in their offices.
Yeah.
And we had a workshop together with Jake Knapp, the design sprint creator. And it was very, very lots of fun and very interesting. And I remember, Steph, it was very impressive for me that you brought him this chocolate that looks like a time timer.
Yeah. So it was kind of, at that time, maybe I can tell that story. I think it's fun. It was in 2017. Yeah. I was a huge fan of Jake Knapp, the author of the book Sprint. And I never met him in real at that time. So I knew that coming to Google, I will meet him for the first time. So you see the time timer just behind me here. I made a chocolate version because I'm Swiss. So it costed a lot of money to create it.
Really? It was very impressive.
It was a lot of massive chocolate, very heavy. And I gave it to Jake. He loved it. And
and ate it.
Yeah, and ate it all with his giant family. They are crazy chocolate eaters. So that's the way I met Jake.
And it was lots of fun to meet you there and him. And today you're gonna tell us who was why did you create this iToday Summit? Who is it for? Who came to this?
Yes. It's such a long story and it's such a cool story and exciting one. So I'm Steph from Design Sprint Ltd. We are a company based in Switzerland, in Europe, and we do design sprint as a living. So we are specialized in this workshop. It's like 5 years. I'm running design sprint, which is a long time now.
Right.
I've run a lot of these sprints, but we are still, it still reaches, kind of a niche of people who are designers or UXers or into product, very deep people into product or innovation. And still, we need to evangelize, to explain what this is all about, what is design sprint, but also what is design thinking, what is design also, what is the power of design. And there is a lot of things to tell about this. And, we came up with that realization that the way to get interesting and powerful people to even care about design in business, and the way to kind of attract these business people into the conversation is to organize something for them. So not an event. So events is great because it's a great way to meet and to connect with people. And we've realized that if it's a design conference, if it's too designy, these people don't come or don't care. So really from the beginning with iToday, innovation today is to talk not about design or design sprint, but about innovation as a whole, and to bring together business, tech, design, and also ecology. And that's important.
Yeah, it's very important. I think that in general, when you're thinking about design, most people think about the tangible result of what we're creating, like what is the colors in the end or the fonts. But design is much more than that. And I think that as we proceed, understanding what's the meaning of design, and we have business results from design thinking and design processes, it gets closer to the business and not into the less marketing even point of view of design, right?
Yeah, we are in 2020, and the world is like, upside down with that whole COVID situation. And more
Right.
than ever, design is important because we need to redesign everything about our life. All the ways we used to live, to work, to socialize, everything needs to be designed. When you think, you go to the theater, it's not the same like it was before. You organize an event, it's not the same. You go to the restaurant, it's not the same. And that's just a little part, the most visible part. You have so many products, interfaces, systems that needs heavy redesign, and that's why we're here today. Yeah.
Right. So what we decided to do is to take 3 talks that you decided like were more insightful or maybe surprising for you, and
Mhm.
we're going to talk like TDLR, just to summarize what are the essence of the 3. And the first that we said we were going to talk about is Jake's Knapp, right? So that's
Yeah.
his talk. So
Jake
tell
Knapp.
us, yeah,
Exactly. So if you are interested about iToday, so the summit event is past, but we have the physical masterclasses in February in Switzerland
right,
with Jake and Alex Osterwalder and Yves Pinger. So it's going to be the actual masterclasses. And the summit was 3 weeks, 1 month ago, but it goes so fast.
yeah,
And the website is itoday.ch, CHB, meaning that it's a Swiss website.
sweet,
Yeah. And so, yeah, the first talk, of course, it's Jake Knapp. So just to understand about iToday, we really wanted to have top-notch speakers, like the best in the world about innovation. And, I kind of made my selfish list of people I was dreaming to have on our
right,
summit. It was supposed to be a physical conference, and I think it's important to understand that first. It was supposed to be physical, in person in Switzerland, and because of COVID, we had to pivot and make it virtual. So Jake was already scheduled to be in the physical event, of course, and give a masterclass, and then it was a no-brainer, of course, to ask him, "Do you want to come as a on the virtual event?" Problem with Jake is that he's super famous. And he has been, he's always invited there and there, and to chat, to talk about design sprint. He gave a lot of crazy keynotes about design sprint, so he's becoming very, very famous. People have read the book; they know by heart all the pages of the book. So it's kind of hard to come up with something new and to give some new content. And it's kind of the challenge that Jake had. He really took it seriously, that event. He was like, okay, I will come with something really new. And so he didn't invent a new sprint, no, but he talked about the title of his talk was the Innovation Cookbook, and it was how any business or company can basically learn from recipes, from innovation recipes, telling that
right,
if you start innovating just studying on your own and not reading and not trying anything pre-existing, you will lose a lot of time. And the sprint is one of these recipes. And he gave that great analogy about him cooking scrambled eggs, having no idea how to cook it for real. It looks simple, so he was doing it, but he was doing it wrong. And the day he
yeah,
actually read a recipe, he understood how powerful it is. So really cool talk about, of course, design sprint, but more about the power of recipes in innovation. And also he made everyone dance. And you can go on
yeah,
iToday.ch, there is a replay section. You can watch the talk
yeah,
of Jake, and people were dancing like
yeah.
crazy, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, one thing I really want to mention, like Jake, when you usually see this picture, I think it's even part of the book, if I'm not mistaken. He's really, really tall.
Yeah, it's a
He's really
giant.
tall, so I'm almost here when I stand next to him, and I guess that the physicality of somebody who is talking is very powerful. So
Mhm.
when he stands in front of audience, so it's really impressive to see him. And I guess that one thing that you could do in order to make it more dynamic and interesting is to make people move and not like be stable and static
Yeah,
when they see it. So
exactly. It's
that's great.
you're right. Jake is super charismatic in general. Of course, in person, you see him. The guy is a giant, and he has a deep voice and everything. And he's really he has a lot of charisma. And it's always tricky. It's like, is it gonna work online? Because like we had an event
Yeah.
that was physical, and then it was fully online. And you know what? He's so good at this. He manages to keep that same intensity even online. Yeah, I'm very impressed by this actually. Yeah. Maybe can
Yeah.
you just click, if you can show the website and click on
Yeah.
replays?
Yeah. Sure.
Because I think it's kind of cool to show there is a little video.
Oh, now it's there is a sound.
Yeah, if you can remove the sound, maybe it's gonna.
Yeah.
Because the video is quite great. You can see Jake dancing. He looks like a giant pogo stick the way he dances.
So if I press this part, just a minute. If I press his, so we can see the video of him dancing. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're here, and I should press.
No, just go to up.
On the top.
Yeah, on the top.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, and this video. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we saw that's why. You're right. Yeah. He's not that of a good of a dancer, though.
Because he's giant, so he looks like
yeah, he's very tall. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the second talk, Captain Paul Watson. Tell us about that one. He's so impressive.
For us, it was key to have a top-notch speaker in sustainability. It was really key to have someone who is hyper credible, because I think it's such an important topic. Okay, we talk only about COVID in 2020, but the real issue of the world is climate warming. It's what's coming on our generation, but also on the next generations. And as a designer and as a thinker or innovator, you need to think about the next 30, 50 years, because we are the people who can make a change now. And that's why it's so important for me. And I hate all that greenwashing you can see sometimes, like company changing the logo for something green or adding a leaf or whatever. But
tell us in a few words who maybe doesn't know who is Paul Watson.
Exactly. And we wanted someone who is not shallow and who is deep in sustainability and who has really a cause. And Paul Watson, he's the founder and creator of Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. So it's these guys, who are fighting the whale poachers. Paul Watson is actually one of the creators of Greenpeace in the 70s. And
nice.
Yeah. He co-created Greenpeace, and he was expelled from Greenpeace in the 70s too, because he was too hardcore about his about the way he was. He was getting attached to a boat. He was like, he dared to do absolutely everything. He was pumping boats. He was attacking. He was never violent. That's the key thing to understand about him. But he behaved like a pirate. His idea really is to stop poachers, and by all the means, without being actually violent. And he's such a character. It's 50 years.
It's so impressive to have people that have their own vision of how the world should be, and they're acting upon it. It's like I really love it, and I think that in general, I had one talk in this show about sustainability, and I'll have more because I think it's really important, and I think that it's going to be more in the middle of what people are focusing on in the upcoming years, and in general, I'm really for them. I'm vegan, so it's like. That's good for me, Greenpeace.
Yeah. You see, and so Sea Shepherd on the boats, they are also strictly vegan on the boats, meaning that you can't eat meat. They are not all vegan, but at least on the boat they are. And what I love with that guy, he's like with Paul Watson, for the last 50 years, he was an activist, and he was on the ocean on the boat, and he was actively fighting whale poachers and protecting the oceans. And so having him was a great highlight for us, of course, because he's so inspiring. He's, I don't know his age, like 70 something.
He looks really impressive. That's for sure.
He's an actual pirate, like for real. And he has been tracked by Interpol. All these things he had, like his life is a movie basically. Yeah, actually, there was a whole TV show made around him called Whale Wars on Discovery Channel. And there are movies made after him. So it was amazing to be able to talk live with someone who is a real ecological hero. And it was really empowering, I would say. And he talked also about our responsibility as innovators. So of course, he's an activist in ecology, he's very hardcore. But there are things that we can do or choices we can make as designers or as innovators that will have a real impact on the future. So sometimes you need to choose between, do I take the well-paid job at a horrible company, or do I accept to have less money but actually having
Yeah.
a purpose or
Yeah.
meaning in my job. It's
Yeah,
exactly the
I
kind of
totally
interesting.
understand that. Like sometimes when some of the startups, they call me and they talk to me, and sometimes it's not right for me. So like, like in Israel, we have lots of like binary options, all these stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's not for me. So no, thank you. And all the things once, like it reminds me like years ago, a startup came up to me and they say, we have $1 billion idea. We
Mhm.
can make kids watch ads.
Yeah, freaky.
So I
Yeah.
said, okay, maybe it's $1 million, but it's not for me. So it's good that people are acting upon their beliefs.
Yeah, it's exactly that. I think it's key that as innovators we understand that our actions have an impact. When you work on a product that's used by thousands or millions of people, depending where you work, your choices and your action will have an impact on the future. And yeah,
Sure.
you have the short-term money you can earn doing that job, but think about the consequences always. So Paul Watson was really so inspiring, and basically we talked about that the other day. Any sentence he said during that talk, it's 45 minutes long. You can watch it for free actually online. 45
Yeah.
minutes long. You can take any sentence he said, you can make a t-shirt out of it, because
Wow.
because it's so inspiring, and it's 50 years. It's like
Yeah,
repeating the same things in different
he knows
ways.
the
And
material.
yeah, by heart. He's the best.
So some of the talks are free and some of the talks are for replay, or why is it online?
Yeah,
So what
so
did you decide about that?
So the way it worked for iToday, there were several tickets. One was like the all access, meaning that you could ask yourself the question to the speakers. One was just watching the live stream. And one was actually replays for people who missed
Oh,
everything but still want to catch up. They can watch the replays.
sure.
So the talks are online. They are not free. It's not expensive. It's $50 for the whole 10 hours of content.
Sure.
But you can watch, because we are generous and nice people.
Yeah.
You can watch,
It's
I
worth
think,
it.
two talks for free. And the one of Paul Watson is free anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can watch two for free,
Yeah. So
which
I
is really
really encourage you to do it. It's I saw some of them. It's like, wow, it's really worth it.
it's great because, okay, we are not specialists of media. We are not a TV company. We are just designers, but I think we managed to have great interactions, live interaction with the people who were in the audience. They were interacting live, asking the question live, and it's something you don't see too often, and that was really cool. And
Yeah, it's really important. Like you're saying, we're just designers, and I just want to take the just from it. It's like we are designers, and we can do lots of things that others can do. And I think that the fact that we're designers, that we can just act upon our thoughts, we can do something tangible. So you created something and you designed it, and you designed all the materials and the website and the marketing and the event itself, and it's something that most people don't have the ability to do that actually, and
yeah.
it's lots of work and talent. So
You're right. We were actually, for the whole event, we were three working on it. We had help from a partner who made the nice videos. You see the
yeah, it's a
marketing
great.
videos, but it was a very small team, and we had three more volunteers the day of the event to help us. But it was such a small team, and in very scrappy way. We didn't have crazy softwares, gears, technique. It was all holding on my own computer, at home. It was made from home, but I think it was part of the success of the event, that it was feeling a bit homemade, but at the same time very exciting, and not seen also. It was something else, and it was
Yeah.
great to have something homemade, but with huge stars being part of the show.
Yeah,
And
I think that in general, we see that in the past we needed like a studio and like a TV camera
yeah,
and everything. And now it's like you can take a good camera and it's good enough for what you're doing, and you have a microphone and that's it. You have the software to get to anyone and to get
mhm,
to the speakers and to the attendees, and you don't need more than that.
yeah,
And it's wonderful to think about
exactly.
the knowledge sharing you could do this way. So it's
Yeah, and
wonderful.
all the networking. There is one thing I've really understood organizing this event and leaving it. It's not really about the quality of the camera you have, or the sound, or whatever. It's about feeling that you are together in the instant. We were together in something, even if we were spread all around the world, and living the same experience at the same time. That was amazing. And maybe I want to talk about the next speaker, about Thomas
Laila.
Wiesel. No, I just want to add him on the list.
Sure, I'm with you. You feel free after I pressed the Laila speaker, so you can feel free just to change it as we talk.
I will talk about Laila right after, but I just want to talk about Thomas Wiesel because you can find him.
Yeah, he is the comedian.
Yeah, the comedian. I think it's something that was really wonderful to have him. So Thomas Wiesel, he's a huge star in Switzerland. It's probably the most famous stand-up comedian in Switzerland, and he's like a razor blade. He's like really sharp, and he's very good at reacting live on something. And so we had him the 2 days of iToday. So he was kind of having kind of a stand-up act at the beginning of each day, which was scripted and written and everything. But also he was live on our Slack, on our private Slack, and he was reacting to all the talks live. And publishing jokes and images and memes, and this was amazing because he's the best of the best, and that was really, really amazing. And so there is a horrible sketch you can watch online. He's making fun of my mustache, for example. And,
I love when you say mustache. It sounds much better than when I say mustache.
Mustache, yeah. Sorry, it's because I don't know how to say it in English. So
no, it sounds like very French. It's like
it is a French word. It is
yes, that's what I'm saying. So it sounds like you say it the right way.
I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree when we think about the event itself as something that we do together. And, when we laugh together and we have the same ideas and we have the same thoughts, we are together in the same domain, like spiritual domain. So it's kind of together that we're getting used to, like working from home and doing things from home and having like shows together on home. So it's like it's really important.
Before organizing the event, I read a lot online about online events, fully online, and I was very afraid that my fear was like it will look just watching a boring Netflix show, a boring video, that you feel that it's just watching something that happened, but you don't feel part of it. And really, I loved the fact having a comedian part of the event and live, because anything could happen anytime. And also we had a system, like when he was publishing something on the Slack, we could show it on screen at the right moment. So yeah, all of this worked really well, and that was cool.
Yeah. So we have a question. I want to really recommend everyone who's watching us to take part of the talk. And we have Sankalp. I hope that I really said the word. So thank you for your question. And he asked about how do you think where we're heading? Like people, would they prefer to have something together in a physical space or to do it virtually, like Samsung and Asus launching an event virtually? What do you think about that? What do you think?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think virtual events is where I want to be as a designer and innovator myself, because it's way more risky. There is so much to create. When you think like you have Web Summit, for example, Web Summit, they have demonstrated the quality of a physical event. It's huge, but you can't beat them. You can't create a new event and beat Web Summit. They're already here. They are massive. But
they have a trade show area, which is very important. So sales
exactly. So this is a model that works. Physical events, well, except during COVID, but that works, and you won't be able to really improve them or to make them better. Virtual events, everything is to create. Basically, what we have created is probably one of the first. I like to say the first cool one, in the way that we really try to think well about the experience as deep as we could, even having something very small. But still, the tools, they are very, it's like kind of the Stone Age, about virtual events. And I dream that, we have all these VR things. We don't know what to do with right now. All these tech are existing. It's just we don't have.
I think that he asked about that. Now I read it while we were talking, and he asked about the VR keynote recently Samsung had. Yeah, so I think he asked about that actually. I
think it already exists. Of course, it has been done in some areas. The problem is like not everyone at home has a crazy VR headset, or it has to be part of a showroom or something. And I think what's going to be the key differentiator is when you can bring this kind of technology to a mass audience or mass public. I'm thinking about the music festivals. I see a lot of people telling, "Oh, are you gonna come to that music festival in 2021?" I'm like, I don't think it's gonna happen. It's gonna be very hard to have big, massive music festival. But I think now these music festivals, they have the opportunity right now to rethink their format and create a very cool virtual experience, because I think there are things to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that there are some advantages. First, you can reach so many people. It's so easy. They don't need to fly anywhere. It's much easier. It costs less for you. It's risk for the organizers, and it's much easier to just go in your own office or in your wherever it's comfortable for you and to see what you need. The part of mingling should be addressed. So you need to think about how to create this connection, because people, when they go to some kind of a business event or to a conference, and I've done I think hundreds of them in the last few years, the most important part are the breaks, because in the breaks you could go and talk to the speaker, to other people, and to connect with them. It's so important. So we need to really solve this one, but we're solving problems together, so we know how to do that.
We've used interesting tools for helping networking. It was kind of looking like a map of a venue, and you had different tables and people could jump from table to table. So they were free to go to kind of private chats, video chats. This worked really well, actually, but still, this is not replacing the actual physical event. That's why actually iToday we did the conferences all online, and we're going to have the master classes full day physical with less people, more VIP, with masks, everything. But we think that it's the right approach.
And to do hands-on stuff, and to really connect, it's important. I totally agree. Okay, so we're going to go to the last one. And if we'll see people really interested, maybe we'll do part 2 and you'll see. So Laila von Alvensleben.
I'm struggling too, actually. Laila von Alvensleben. So she's Swiss, actually, and she's from the Italian part of Switzerland, but she has a German name. And turns out that she's the head of culture and collaboration at Mural. So Mural, I guess some of you guys know what this is. It's a software of whiteboarding, virtual whiteboarding, that we use during our design sprint. And what's interesting is that Mural, they totally exploded during COVID. So it was a software just before COVID, and it became a massive software and community during COVID. I think
actually my first episode is with Jim Kalbach.
Okay,
so
perfect.
It's my first episode. So you can go back and listen to Jim. Jobs to be done, and he works in Mural too.
Exactly. I think they have 15 times more customers than before COVID. Anyway,
I don't know. I know that they're increased. We talked about that in the first episode, and we said that it's a good time for them. So it really makes sense to have a collaboration tool this way. So
exactly, and we wanted to have someone who was a true expert at remote work, and that's exactly what Leila does at Mural. That's her role, to be leading the culture, but also the whole remote collaboration of the team, because they are from Argentina, but they have offices in San Francisco, but otherwise they are all distributed worldwide, across time zones, across continents, and they need to make it work, and to be efficient, and to work fast, and to be resilient, and to scale up very fast and grow during COVID times, because the clients are here. So it was amazing to have her on to share her experience, because it's really some content that you don't see anywhere, basically, because she's right into the action right now at Mural, and she shared with us the tools they are using, the way they are dealing with their schedules, rituals that they are having, and it's really kind of the backstage of how Mural works. And I would recommend that talk to any company or organization that is willing to go more remote and to use the power of remote. I will advise them to look at this talk. It's going to give you so many ideas on what you can do. I know it's complex sometimes with regulations and how you can hire people in different countries, but obviously Mural, they dealt with that too. But they have so many great ideas on how you can collaborate remotely. That was really, really great.
Yeah. Okay, so we're almost done. I want you to give me like the most like surprising thing you learned from these talks that we talk about. Like what could you take from them?
I mean, the surprising thing for me is that we managed to make it that event. You know, when the whole world is falling apart, like the world's upside down, and you manage to bring these brilliant people together, and they all committed 1 or 2 days to be with us, and because they felt that it was important, and so that's really something I really appreciate it. Is that I could also mention, of course, Kai Halley from Google, who was here, right. Soya Vanka, who had such a great talk about the power of design, and watch it, it's amazing. So all these people who are stars, and to be frank, they don't need us, or they don't need this kind of events to be visible, and they wanted to be there and to come, and they just wanted to network and socialize. Even some people said it was the highlight of 2020. Well, it's not very hard to.
It's not hard to be a highlight in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. It's the worst time of the history. But that's I think everyone was genuinely happy to be there to network and to chat, like with old friends, even if we were from the comfort of our homes, but we were together in the same instant. And I know we won't have the same conditions again probably in our lives. It was very special, and I think this first edition of iToday is gonna stay in our memories for that.
Yeah, first edition. So like next time we're gonna meet and we're gonna do that together.
I don't know. We're gonna have the masterclasses for sure in February, and then we'll see from there. The idea behind iToday is innovation today, is to talk about what's going on in innovation right now in the present. So the concept is, of course, scalable, and we'll see over time. But it's massive to organize something like that. It's huge.
Sure. So thank you for doing that. So tell us, like in a few words, what's going to be in February? Who's going to come to the workshops?
Sure. So it's a 2 days event. One day it's Jake Knapp for the Design Sprint Masterclass, the official one with, I assume, a lot of updates, because now we are using way more remote tools and tools like Mural or others. So the idea is like to really give an updated version of the masterclass. Hopefully, he's going to be able to fly in Europe at that time. It's in 5 months. So finger crossed. Yeah. If not, we are clever and we have some ideas. You will see.
Maybe virtually. I could say it could be.
Maybe partly. We'll see. But we have some great concepts. So that will be the first day, February 8th. It's Jake. February 9th, it's Alex Osterwalder and Yves Pinger. They are huge stars. They are the creators of I don't have the book anymore here. They are the creators of the business model canvas. And value proposition canvas. You have seen, it's a grid with 9 boxes. You have seen it all around. It was created 10 years ago. It's used by millions of people, startups, companies, and they are the creators of that tool. Turns out that they are Swiss. They live not too far from here, and they're gonna run the masterclass, which is amazing, and it's gonna be the second day. So it's gonna be a very businessy day, and day one is more about design.
Oh, nice. So I want to thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. I think we should have another episode. It was so much fun for me. And other than that, I have like 10 questions that we didn't get to. So maybe next time we can say like the main question that I had in the beginning, like how could that affect your daily life as designer in Design Sprint? But we can maybe do it like next time, right? Do you have like next time? We'll do it next time.
Yeah,
we should.
So you're gonna have to invite me again.
Yeah, we should do it. And I want to thank you first that you woke up so early in the morning. I felt like I took you in the middle of the morning, and you're like all awake just for me.
It's okay. It's 9 now. It's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. Okay. And I want to thank everyone who joined us and asked questions and said hi on our live show. Thank you, and thank you for listening and viewing this episode. And if you'd like to know more, you're welcome to visit invincibleinnovation.com. And we have the show and the podcast really soon. So visit us. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye.